up, guys? Everybody hear me okay? Welcome back to another live stream. Thanks for joining me, everybody. Looks like we got 24 people here already. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. Chicken Jar, first in line. What's up, buddy? I'm sure it's probably pretty late over there right now. Thanks for staying up, man. What's up, John Gross? John Boyd, Red Trooper, OG Reinhard, Charlie, T. Muller, how you doing? Rafiki, Sim, Jake, what's up, guys? Thanks for joining me again. Today we got, for supper, we got some brains. I still don't know the difference between sheep and goat and brains because I can't tell what these heads are when I get them, but either sheep or goat brains. I'm guessing sheep. I don't know. Can anybody tell what kind of brains these are? Damn, it's all washed out. I'm guessing sheep brains, but I don't know. Maybe look at my Instagram. If you can tell what kind of brains these are, let me know. A couple eyeballs for dessert. Got some grass-fed beef trim, which is basically what they normally put into the hamburger when you get like a beef quarter or you get like a half a cow. You can get custom cuts. They ask you if you want hamburger or trim. I usually just get trim. So what they do is they just throw it in big old chunks and slabs into a bag, into 5-pound bags. And I get like probably 6 bags of this trim every time I get a quarter of an animal, quarter cow. And I actually bought a half cow, so I got like 10 or 12 bags of this beef trim that I'm kind of working on right now. But it's not bad, man. It's just beef. It's just the extra stuff that they trim off. So really no difference. I like it. Of course, I got my baked potato and my raw butter. So alrighty. Welcome to 2020, the year of the scams. So you guys know what I'm talking about. All this virus stuff, and now compounded with the election. What a mess, dude. This is like one of the craziest, definitely the craziest year of all time, but it's just wild how it all ties in together, you know? But it's all one big giant scam, guys. This world is scams on scams on scams. Like, we talk about how like nutrition is a scam. Like everything they tell you about nutrition is a total scam. It's all there to make you unhealthy and weak, frail, lose your mind, go mentally ill. They tell you to cook your food when that's the last thing you want to do because it cooks all your nutrients out. They tell you to eat vegetables. That's the last thing you want to do because vegetables are man-made. And they don't have the fat-soluble vitamins that meat does. And it's not going to repair your body like meat, you know? So everything we're being told is lies. And I've talked about this before in previous streams. Once you subscribe to a smaller lie, they start feeding you bigger lies. And that's how, if you look back, that's how the entire world is built. And that's how we're trained as children. They start selling you tiny lies when you're a baby and you don't know the difference. And then they start compounding them and building them up. Some people are lucky enough to break away from the brainwashing and see the world for what it is and become like a free thinker, but a lot of people aren't. I'd say 99% of the world is not. 99% of the world is brainwashed, so they are doomed. So it's up to the 1% to band together, I guess, and continue to spread the truth. I don't think it's up to us to wake up the 99%. That's on their own. That's between them and God. But anyways, what's up, P. Miller? How you doing, buddy? I've talked to a lot of farmers, Radical Acts, for sure. I've talked to every one of my farmers. It's a very important thing to do, man. It's just a good way to, I mean, it's basically a business connection, you know what I mean? So you want to make sure that your business connections are tight. And especially something as like important as food, you want to make sure that business connection is like in the best possible shape you can get, you know. So I'm always talking to my farmers. They're obviously really interested in what I'm doing. I don't think they know anybody else that's doing exactly what I'm doing. So I think I definitely piqued their interest. So they're happy to support me and feed me and talk back and forth through emails and stuff like that. They're really good people, man. Like, the stuff they say about farmers is true. Like, farmers are some of the most, just the best people in the world, man. Like, it's just people you want to be around, you know? Nighty night, P. Miller. P. Miller's got to go to beddy bye. T. Miller asks an interesting question. I've been asked this a couple times before. I'm curious, you eat so much brain. What are the main changes you noticed with your cognitive abilities since eating all that amazing omega-3? Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in brain that's interesting if you think about it. Like, I never honestly even thought about omega-3s because I don't really look into the science on food anymore because it's not that I don't find it interesting. It's just that you get into these rabbit holes when you go into science, and it's endless. And I think the best way to discover the truth about food is to just eat it yourself and just, you know, do your own experiments on your own body. So, but I do know that brains have like hormones in them, you know? There's like growth hormone. And if you think about it, there's the whole pineal gland thing, which I believe is seated in the center of the brain. So when you're eating brain, you're basically eating the pineal gland, which is very interesting. And they say that the pineal gland is what holds DMT. And I'm sure everybody knows what DMT is, especially if you watch Joe Rogan, Mr. DMT. But basically, yeah, DMT is like a neurotransmitter in your brain. And so I'm guessing, I'm just theorizing here. I would love to do like my own studies or like maybe even write some stuff on like brains and eating brains and the differences of what I was before and like as I'm eating them. But the most major thing that I noticed with the brains, which I noticed right away, was my dreams became extremely vivid and cinematic. Just unbelievable, and actually lucid at certain points. I've actually been able to lucid dream recently in my adult life, which has been something that I haven't been able to do since I was like a kid. So I'm trying to figure out why brains are making me have these like cinematic, vivid dreams, and I'm not the only person that's noticed that too. Like, I started noticing it when someone else mentioned it on my stream, and then I mentioned it to one of my buddies, and he said the same exact thing. When he ate brains, he had these crazy dreams. So I don't know if it's because you're eating like you're eating hormones, or you're eating like the pineal gland or DMT, or like I don't know what's going on, or if it's because you're eating the brains and the brains are detoxifying like the metals and the contaminants and toxins inside your own brain, like it's repairing your brain as you sleep. It's probably a combination of like a lot of different things like that, you know. But anyways, to answer your question in short, it's not something that I noticed dramatically like overnight, like, oh my god, my IQ went up like 12 points overnight, you know. But I will say that I feel like I'm able to access like words much easier. I'm able to express myself much easier. I'm definitely thinking a lot more clearly, like when I'm in conversations between people. My attention span is better, and I'm more in the moment. So I guess you could contribute that possibly to eating brains. Like my brain seems to be functioning better, but I don't subscribe to the fact that we are our brains per se. I think our brains are just like a processor in our bodies, and I believe we're actually spirits. And it gets deep, man. Like there's a lot of like Indian tribes and stuff believe that when you eat the animal, you're eating like certain parts of the animal, you're eating like part of the spirit of the animal. So it's possible that like when I'm eating the brains, I'm eating part of the spirit of the animal, and that's in tune somehow benefiting my spirit. It gets so complicated, man. But yeah, brains are very interesting. I eat them all the time now. I love it, and I'm going to continue to do it forever. So we'll see what happens, but I'm guessing at the very least it's just repairing any kind of existing damage in my brain, you know. All the other stuff is just theories. I don't think anybody's done any research on it. How much money do I spend per day? It depends on if I'm eating like this grass-fed beef stuff. It's about $22 a day. I can get these balls, these testicles, for really cheap, man. Like for like $1 a pound, believe it or not. So if I eat testicles, then I can get away with eating like $10 a day, like less than $10 a day. What's up, meat man? Yeah, I don't follow science at all. Science, the more I get older, yeah, I'm with you, Bradley. I was like a heavy science brain. Like I went to school for computer science. Science was always like one of my best subjects, besides math probably. Math was probably my best subject, and then science right below it. And the older I get, man, the more I'm like, what is the point of all that crap, dude? Like, you got to be kidding me with how deep they get into that stuff, and they're missing so much of the obvious. As they're going into the weeds, as they say, they're missing all the obvious clues, you know? Yeah, I found that live market from my buddy Jake. He was hanging out at my house one day, and I was telling him about my weird diet that I got my new weird diet, and he said, yeah, did you hear about that live meat market? I saw a news clip on the news, like they were protesting it because they were going to be slaughtering live animals and stuff. And so the only reason I found out about these brains and these testicles and stuff is because of like a hit piece the news did, supported by a bunch of vegan propaganda. So, which is hilarious. The only reason I found the raw meat diet is because of vegans on YouTube. I was getting into an argument. I was on a carnivore, I think, and I was arguing with some people back when I thought arguing on YouTube was cool. I used to argue with people about carnivore and vegan and stuff, and which is retarded. Don't do that. But this vegan lady was like, "Uh-oh, we have one of Spheria's army or something like that." And I'd never heard of Spheria because it was spelled all weird, you know. So I ended up going on YouTube, typing in Spheria. And then I found Augenus Wonderplanets on Spheria's channel, and then I started eating raw meat within like a couple days after that. So the whole reason I'm doing this whole channel and everything is because of vegans. Because they couldn't keep their mouths shut, you know what I mean? They couldn't shut up about who they hate so much. So keep kicking people our way, vegans. You're doing a good job. Yeah, the oppressors made science into religion, so either side you can't wake up from the matrix, for sure. Yep. Be wary of organized science and be wary of organized religion. I would say seek the truth. The truth, what they're not telling you is the truth is inside you, and all you have to do is just go within and look for it. But we're so distracted from our thoughts and like the outside influences of the world, like technology and TV and news and politics and just all these lies getting flying around, and it's crazy. So you just, I think that's the whole point, is it's to distract you from the truth. That's just there's a quiet voice inside of you that's telling you the truth all the time, but you're just ignoring it. Thanks for the super chat, J-Lo. If you have extreme weight gain on this diet that can't stop, does it mean you're very toxic, like Augenus said, and you need it? He said that you want to get fat like a baby at the beginning, so don't worry so much about putting on weight. I put on a bunch of weight when like the first year and a half on this diet. I got up to like 220 or something like that. Right now I'm about 203, and I think I'm completely balanced out. So if you put on, I was probably in 195 when I started this diet. So if you put on 25 pounds or something, don't worry about it, as long as you're putting it on with healthy animal fats and stuff like that. Raw animal fats, raw meat, and then experiment with shedding it off slowly from there, you know, and get down to a comfortable weight. You don't want to get super lean, but I think you just want to have like a nice little. You don't want to see your ribs, but you want to have like just a nice little fat barrier on there. But yeah, I would not stress out about gaining weight at all. That's another lie that we've been told. You know, gaining weight is bad for you. But we live in such a toxic society that you need that fat barrier. Because fat absorbs the toxins, you know? Did you see this YouTuber? His name is Matt Blackburn. He advocates sugar and adds to his raw milk. No, I haven't. That sounds a little ridiculous, but I had honey to my raw milk, so I think honey's fine. I drink milk and honey every night before bed, man. I think it's the best right before bed treat you could ever do, man. I like my little sweets before I go to bed, you know. Let's see. Do y'all watch Speria? I used to watch a lot of Speria's channel, definitely when I was first getting into this diet. When we eat the animal, we're still absorbing power in a way. Oh, for sure. Yeah, I drink milk. To be honest with you, don't tell my farmer, but I kind of just get the milk for the cream now. But I feel bad just going there to buy cream, so I buy milk too. But I just kind of want the cream. So what I do with the cream is I make a bunch of ice cream. So I eat ice cream every day. Every night I'll eat like a bunch of ice cream for like 4 nights in a row. And then for the next week and a half I'll drink a giant glass of milk with honey before I go to bed. But I go all day without drinking milk because it does make me a little sleepy. It's probably the beta-casomorphine or whatever the synthetic opiates that A1 milk has, which I could give a shit about. Like, it doesn't really bother me. I actually kind of enjoy it right before bed. A little bit of beta-casomorphine, but I just drink it before bed because milk does kind of slow me down just a little bit. Cow's milk, A1 cow's milk, I should say. So I think goat milk has a different effect on me, but right now I can't get good goat milk. So yeah, I just save it before bed so I get my minerals and nutrients and stuff still, but I'm not getting dragged down during the day. Universities are the churches of science. Well said. Yeah, natural experience is the way to go, man. That's why, to be honest with you guys, I could sit here and make a lot of different videos going into the science and the nutrition and just all of the data and all of the facts and all this stuff about food and this and that, but it's like, I'm trying something new, I'm trying something different, man. I'm just gonna sit here and just eat raw meat and brains and just make video after video after video after video, you know what I mean? And my audience can judge for themselves whether or not I am a healthy person, physically, mentally, and spiritually, because of the diet or not because of the diet, whatever. But I think that anecdotes are powerful, you know? And I'm basically an anecdote, you know? I'm just a personal experience. But yeah, I live in Nebraska, man. I'm super lucky. There's just one meat market right here in town. The guy just opened it up a few years ago. It's like God is watching out for me big time because he opened up this meat market like right before I started this diet, and I got to know this guy right as he was starting his business up. And he likes me a lot because I stand out because I'm the only white guy that's in there. I've never seen another white person in this meat market ever. And I'm the only dude that goes in there and just buys heads and balls. That's all I get. So he's always joking around with me. He calls me Easy Money. What's up, Easy Money? Because, I don't know, I guess he probably assumes that nobody else is going to buy that shit, but I love it. So I'm Easy Money to him. But he takes care of me, man. Like, I bought 25 pounds of balls today. They're normally only $1.50 a pound, which is like super cheap as it is, but he gave me a deal for $1 a pound today, which is insane. That's insanely cheap for fresh testicles, $1 a pound. That's unbelievable. Like, if you look online, they're way more than that. Yeah, if you guys could remember to hit like on the video to help the algorithm. Thanks if you did it wrong. Let's see. T. Mueller says, I have studied so much science in my life, and now I see that 99% or more of that, all that doesn't make sense anymore. AV was right on not trusting any of it. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, I know you went like really deep in science for sure. Like you were a professional. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy how much we're getting lied to. Yeah, just look around, Jason. Do some good searches on the internet. You know, live. He'll have a website probably at the very least. If not, if you know some like Muslims or Asians, you could ask them, or you could just go to a part of town where you know like a bunch of Muslims and Asians, or Mexicans too. If you have like a Mexican part of town or like a Asian Muslim part of town, go down there and just ask some people. Be like, hey man, do you guys know where I can find like live animals? Because that's where my market is it's right in the heart of little Mexico in my city. If I had one organ to recommend to someone for better mental health, what would it be? Brain? Yeah, brain. And for men, I would recommend glands. I would recommend testicle, because that supplies testosterone, which is really good for your mental health as well. How did I transition from normal diet to raw meat? Did you cut out all carbs pretty quickly? Yeah, I did it all in like stages. So I believe, if I remember correctly, what I did was the very first thing I did with diet was I cut out bread. And that had like a profound impact on my life. It was the most profound change I've ever experienced in my life, quitting bread. Which sounds stupid and it sounds weird. But it was just amazing, man. Like I remember like 15 to 20 different things went away that I was suffering, you know? Like almost like bipolar type stuff, arthritis type stuff, skin type stuff. Like bread was like messing me up bad. And it's no surprise because I actually have one of the celiac genes, and I don't know how much I believe in the celiac thing, but apparently I'm one of the celiac people. And so I think I just react to gluten in like a bad way. So first thing I did was cut out bread. That took away like a bunch of weird stuff I was experiencing, especially like mood dips and like almost bipolar type stuff. And then, which is no surprise because they called schizophrenia breadhead back in the 1950s, and schizophrenia is on the like bipolar spectrum. But anyways, after that, what I did is I believe I cut out like rice and potatoes and like all grains, right? So I cut out bread and then I cut out all grains, and at that point I was basically on carnivore. And so then I went to let's see, I cut out bread, then I cut out grains, and then I cut out vegetables. So then I was on carnivore. And then I did carnivore for about a month, and then I discovered raw meat. And so then at that point, I just switched over to raw meat. And so I actually stopped eating carbs for like a year. And then after a year, I started integrating fruit back in, and everything's been fine since. Pasteurized butter, good or bad? It's not the best, but if it's all you can get, it's probably better than no butter. But I would not recommend it. I would try to get raw. What's up, Brandon Johnson? Good to see you, man. Haven't seen you in a while. Hillman says he got kidney disease from a meat-only diet. That dude doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to that guy. He's young and he doesn't really know what he's talking about. He was a vegan, and a lot of people I know that were vegans, basically they just destroyed their bodies, and so they don't function properly. And then they go on these like heavy meat diets and they can't process the food properly, and they blame it on the diet. But oh geez,
What do you want?
So yeah, I wouldn't look too deep into that, dude. You have a retail store in California that just sells the cream. Oh man, you guys are lucky in California. That's because of Ogenus, dude. Ogenus hooked you guys up. Gotta throw my butter in my potato here before it gets too cold. Big old slab of raw butter. Yeah, uncured raw bacon is good, man. I had a pound of that for lunch today. J-Lo says I put on 100 pounds. When I started, I was 200. I went up to 285. I have been fat before and lost it. Now that I weigh more than I ever have in my life, I don't look as fat as I did when I weighed less. Yeah, totally. That's the way it works. When you're eating raw fats, the molecules are actually smaller, so your body doesn't it doesn't show it as much, and it's healthier for you. But 100's a lot. What's your height? You might be a little overweight, but it's hard not to put on weight on this diet, especially when you first get into it, because you just shovel this food down. It's like the best food in the world. I'm still slightly overeating. You know, I still pig out sometimes. Would kefir also make you tired? Maybe. It might be the A1 beta case of morphine. And I think kefir still has casein, it just doesn't have as much lactose. But I'm not 100% sure on that. People with different body types, just look at NFL online. They don't have that much body fat, about as much as the average player, but they're 300 to 330 pounds. Yeah. Yeah, it really depends on if you're like big boned. That's how they determine adequate, or not adequate, appropriate weight per height. There's small boned, medium boned, and big boned people. And so, if you're big boned, let's say you're like a Samoan, like a Hawaiian Samoan person, you could be 300 pounds and be, in good shape. Thanks for the super chat, J-Lo. Balls don't seem to give me a noticeable T-boost. I have tried fresh bull balls. Now I have lamb balls frozen from Quality Surfs. I don't feel anything. Try eating them for 3 days straight, and that's all you eat is balls. Give that a shot, and then report back. Because that's when I noticed it, as I ate it for all my meals. That's all I ate was balls, and it was like an unbelievable difference. It was also summertime, so I was getting a lot of sun, which also increases your testosterone. So it might have been a combination of those two things. And I think I might have been lifting a little bit too. So, but get some sun, do some workouts, eat balls for 3 days, and you'll notice a little booster, probably. Yeah, get butter from Dutch Meadows or Miller's for sure. Even though Dutch Meadows is getting a lot of heat right now. I think they can still do butter though. The celery juices, they're okay. I don't really know much about the juices, to be honest with you, to say good or bad things about it, but I'd say they're okay. Bread disease and potato madness. Uh-oh. Hope my potatoes aren't making me crazy. I never heard of potato madness. I gotta look that up. Sometimes they diagnose diabetics as schizoids. Interesting. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. As schizophrenics, you mean? Because schizoid's a different thing. But yeah, it's as schizophrenic. That's makes a lot of sense, man. Do I eat rice? No, I don't. Is there a difference between rice and potatoes? Yeah, I think there probably is. They're two different things, but I've always preferred potatoes. I've always been a meat and potatoes guy. That's been my thing. So, and I've never had issues with it. So I just stick with what I know and stick with what's good. And I never get sick of potatoes. I don't know if it's the Irish in me or what. Never get sick of it, man. I'm fasting my dog right now, so they're like kind of bugging me. My dad was a model and he had fresh meat growing up. That's probably why he's a model. Definitely helps, man. Make your skin look really nice. You're 5'10". Yeah, you're definitely overweight, but unless you're extremely big boned, you know, it depends on how you're built. But I would say you're probably just slightly overweight, but that's okay at first. Just try to slim it down as you progress, which you naturally will. Like, you'll eventually just like pig out on this diet and put on so much weight that you're just tired of eating, and you'll want to fast. That's what I noticed, is that I started fasting eventually. Which goes right into the next comment perfectly. What do you think about extended fasting, more than 15 days, harmful to the body? No, I don't think it's harmful at all. I've read a ton of stuff. They've done studies on it. Fasting is not harmful until you're actually starving. And the point of starvation hits when you hit a extreme body temperature drop, which is like 8 to 10 degrees. So until you hit a body temperature drop, you're not starving, and all of your organs are preserved, and all you're doing is just burning fat and burning probably a little bit of muscle. But yeah, it's not harmful at all. I've done, what did I do? 10 days? I think I did 10 days at one point. I felt great, man. Do I think too many guys are thirsty and obsessed with females? Some guys are. I wouldn't say too many. Some guys, I mean, on the internet probably. You know what I mean? Because you're getting probably just a lot more like nerdy people on here that can't get chicks in real life. So they're probably they seem more obsessed on here. But I would say in general though, we do live in a society where a lot of people put women up on sort of like a pedestal. Adam says, name of the meat store that sells the brain and testicles. This is gonna sound, I don't know, it's gonna sound mean, but I don't want to give it out on the internet, man. You're just gonna have to do the research yourself. If you find the place, you find it. But I have a really good connection on this stuff right now, and I don't want a bunch of people taking all my food. You know what I mean? So you'll have to research it up. I'm sure that's understandable, right? My cat has nasal issues. She sneezes blood. If I feed her raw meat and eggs, y'all think she'll be okay? I don't know, man. That sounds pretty messed up. Maybe, I don't know. It's a good question. How do I let you know if I find a live market? You can email me. Shoot me an email. How do you think the nutritional content of milk changes in the summer when cows are out grazing in the sun compared to wintertime? I think it gets more creamy. You get more fat content and more beta carotene from the grass. Thanks for the support, Brandon Johnson. How many pounds of meat do my dogs eat per day? I feed them like a couple days, 2-3 days at a time, then I'll fast them. And what I do is I judge it by how often they go number 2 in the yard or when we're out walking. So if they're just like basically, I don't know why I said number 2. I'm not like a kid. Basically, how often they shit. So like, if they're shitting a lot, then they're still obviously working out all the food that I fed them. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll wait until they like stop shitting and then I'll feed them again. So I'll fast them for a couple days at a time, sometimes 3 days. And but I'll feed them about a pound at a time. Sometimes I'll feed them 2 pounds at a time. It just depends. I've seen my dog eat 4 pounds at one sitting. But I would say on the average, about 3/4 of a pound to a pound of hamburger. Yeah, Dutch Meadows is under government attack. They're not doing well right now. Sorry, that was a piece of gristle. Oh, you were talking to Stefan. All right, yeah, you guys connect together, man. Get to know each other. That's what this channel's for. Everybody connect together and share your little food secrets. It's brains time, guys. Time for some brains. Yeah, I think P. Miller nailed it, man. It's possible we're designed, we don't need carbohydrates at all, but since we've been eating high carb as a species for thousands of years, or maybe our genes have mutated towards needing it. Yeah, or maybe not even on that large of a scale. Maybe because we have been eating high carb since we were babies. You know what I'm saying? And your body just adapts to what you're used to. You know, which I think is why I adopted potatoes back so easily, because I was eating potatoes every day of my life. Like, why would I not be able to eat them, you know? Just means your cells will go cannibalistic after 4 hours when you fast, but if you're not starving, you're not really starving. Do I eat raw honey? Yes, I do. I have milk and honey every night before I go to bed. No, I don't make French fries. Sounds good though. Actually, potato chips sounds great. Can you convince a butcher to sell you blood? I don't think you'd be able to get it from a butcher because they typically, I mean, it just depends. If you're at like a processing facility, but I doubt it, man. Not with the crazy laws that we have today. It's hard to get brains, it's hard to get blood, stuff like that. And you'd have to like go find him right when he slaughtered it, and you'd have to get the blood within like 20 minutes. Can you lose weight on primal diet? Yeah, you just gotta, I mean, it's all input equals output, man. Like, the amount of food you're putting in your body is going to determine how much weight you're putting on. If you're losing weight, then you need to, basically, if you're putting on weight, you need to eat less food. If you're losing weight, you need to eat more food. Like, that's how the body works. Just weigh yourself every day, look at how much you're eating, and if you want to lose weight, eat slightly less. Can you put me on to some good podcasts or teachers to listen to on YouTube throughout the day? Ones that won't feel like poison to the mind. Yeah, I love Jesse Lee Peterson's one of my favorites. What are some other podcasts? Let's see. What do I listen to? Culture Wars podcast is a good one. I would say my top two favorite right now are Culture Wars with E. Michael Jones and Jesse Lee Peterson. But other than that, it's mostly garbage, my friend, since we live in Babylon. What's the deal with A1 versus A2 cow's milk? Good question, man. I've done experiments on it myself. I don't notice a big difference between A1 and A2, so I don't know what to make of it. It could be all bull crap. It could be true. It's so hard to say, man. So hard to say. In general, it seems like most people like goat's milk better. So I would say, if anything, try to get goat's milk over cow's milk, but I wouldn't worry so much about A1 versus A2. I think the biggest problem is pasteurized A1. I think that's the deal. But like I said, it's just so hard to say, man. Because now you're getting into science. You know what I mean? Like the whole A1, A2 thing is totally science-based. And Ogenus was like one of the most researched people on nutrition in the world. And he said there's really nothing... He said that there's nothing wrong with A1 milk. So, what's up, Zone of Tracks? What do I think of the whole Trump situation? No, it's a big scam. Just like the title of my video. It's a big scam. They're stealing they're trying to steal the election, obviously. Because the guy, Trump he's a great dude, and he's doing a lot for the country. And we're in a battle of good and evil right now, man. And evil hates good. Like, evil is evil spirit and it hates good. And Trump represents good. So, they're trying to get him out. That's essentially what's going on. And right now, I think he'll become president again. But right now they're trying to sow seeds of doubt into the country and to get us to think that Biden's going to be president. But he hasn't even been elected. He hasn't even been, it's not official. They're just trying to... The media, man. The media is manipulating everybody right now. I suggest to stop watching the news completely, because they're just completely lying to us about everything. They're lying to us about this pandemic. They're lying to us about the election. They're lying to us about the pandemic in order to set us up for the election, right? So they lied to us about the pandemic in order to set up the mail-in ballot scenario. So they stretched everything out until the wintertime, until the election. Oh, mail in your ballots. You don't want to go into the voting booths. You're going to give everybody corona. And so that set up the scenario to where they could go out and get a bunch of people to send in fake ballots, which is what happened. There's a lot of proof and evidence of that. And so now they have like hundreds of thousands of fake ballots in there, which made it seem like Biden won the election, when it doesn't make any logical sense that dude won, right? Because just think about it on this fundamental level. Trump has a core base, let's say, base of supporters, right? That elected him in 2016, right? It's this group of people right here, right? Those group of people never changed, right? If anything, he added on top of that, right? He gained like another 10 million supporters or whatever on top of that, right? Including a lot of minorities. He had more minority votes than any Republican, I think, in history or something. So anyways, he had his core supporting group, fan base or audience or whatever the hell you want to call it, supporters, that nominated him in 2016. They never went away. He added another 10 million on top of that. But somehow he still lost the election, right? It doesn't make any sense. The numbers don't add up. And he got more votes than any Republican president, I think, in history. So none of it adds up. And then you got all these people, whistleblowers, coming out saying that the Postal Service has been part of the fraud, which makes sense because he was given a lot of the Postal Service heat in the last few months. So it's a complete mess, dude. Like, you got this Corona thing, and then you got the election thing on top of the Corona thing. Shit is getting crazy out here, man. Like, shit's getting so crazy. But don't let it bother you. That's the thing, is don't let this stuff bother you. Just kind of watch it like a circus, because we're not a part of it. You know, like, it'll affect your life in certain ways, but ultimately, it doesn't have to define who you are, you know? Do I drink milk? Yes, a little bit at night, like a quart at night. Do I like blue light glasses? I heard they're very beneficial. They're probably good for you. If you have cataracts, you should eat raw eyeballs, like this guy right here. Get yourself some eyeballs. Cut the eye just a little. Oh, it's already cut here. And you suck the fluid out. And then you swallow it. But yeah, eyeballs are great, man. These will heal your eyes. My eyesight's been really sharp lately too. I think that's something to do with these eyeballs for sure. I think the A1A2 thing is mostly BS, says Adam. Yeah, it is, I think. Someone sent me a video and I started looking into it a little bit. And it's very interesting. The book The Devil in the Milk by Keith Woodford is a very interesting book on A1 versus A2, and it says a lot of bad stuff about A1. And I thought that was like the end all be all. I was like, oh, that book's right. A1's crap. It's all garbage. Should never drink it. But I started looking into the history of like A1, and the A1 Milk Company in New Zealand came out in like 2000, the year 2000. And that book, The Devil in the Milk, came out like 2009 or something like that. So it's awful weird, man. There's some conspiracies out there that the whole A1 versus A2 thing is... I'm sorry, I didn't say A1. I didn't mean to say A1 Milk Company. I meant to say the A2 Milk Company in New Zealand. There's a lot of conspiracies out there that this whole A1 versus A2 thing is a money-making scheme from the A2 Milk Company. So I don't know what to make of it at all, man. What do you think of people who think we shouldn't be consuming animals' milk? I think they're party poopers. That's what I think. Is pasteurized milk even worth drinking without access to raw milk? I wouldn't drink it. I probably wouldn't drink it. You should be able to find some raw milk, though, if you look around. A2 is a different milk protein, and it causes less inflammation to some people. Maybe, but where's the evidence of that? You know, is it anecdotal or what? I don't know what to make of it, man. You know, like, it's possible. My mind is still open on it. Let's say the jury is still out. Nathan says, how you been keeping track of Haleman's recent videos? I think he has lost his mind a little. You think? I know he's found God, but he thinks everyone is a shill, including yourself. Yeah, he's a little out there, dude. You know, I'm not gonna judge him, but he can hold his opinions all he wants. You know, I have people that think I'm a shill just for supporting our president. You know, one of the best presidents of all time. So whatever. Hold your opinions. Doesn't bother me. But yeah, he's a little out there, man. I wouldn't take him too seriously. Why do you think Trump is pushing vaccines? I think he shilled out a little bit. Speaking of shills, and he's trying to win, because he knows that this Corona thing is like the fulcrum. It's the tipping point of this election, man. You know, a lot of people are trying to make it the whole argument, the whole point of who should be president. You know, who's going to save us from the virus, which is so stupid, man. But I think Trump is in a position that none of us can understand, right? Because it's just an unbelievably complicated high position in the world as the president of the United States. And so he's got to appease people to a certain extent, you know? Like he can't just like be me, let's say, and like get on a live stream and just start eating like eyeballs and brains and being like, everything's fucking stupid, man. Don't believe any of it. Like, you know what I mean? Trump can't do that. He's the president, right? He's got to uphold a certain level of professionalism, and he also has to appease people to a certain point because the people are who elect him in, right? And us 64 people right now on this live stream right now, we're like on the fringe, right? We're eating raw meats. We're talking about how vaccines are shit. You know what I mean? Everything in the world is a lie. Like, that's like, we're like in the 0.01%. So Trump got elected by the 99%. He didn't get elected by the 0.01%. He got elected by a lot of different people, right? That believe in vaccines and stuff like that. So he's at a weird position, you know what I mean? Where on one hand, he may not believe vaccines are good for you, right? But on the other hand, if he says that, then he's going to lose his re-election attempt and the whole world's going to go to shit. So it's like, it's almost like pushing one bad thing out into the world, vaccines, in order to push out a different positive type agenda after that. So it's just, it's a tough position. I don't actually blame him for pushing vaccines at all. Kidney stones, I believe they come from plant oils. Low meat, zero dairy diet. Holy shit. Yeah, get them off the plant oils. I think that's what does it. Trump wore a mask and promoted big pharma. I didn't particularly like that. Yeah. I mean, guys, he's still a boomer, dude. You know? He's still kind of an older dude that he might believe some certain things, but like I said, he's gonna appease. He's pushing vaccines to disarm the fear. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, because if you think about it, fear could potentially destroy you quicker than a vaccine, you know what I mean? A vaccine, yeah, it might put some mercury and formaldehyde into your brain or whatever as an adult, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to make you autistic as an adult. It's just going to put some toxins into your system, you know what I'm saying? Guys, a vaccine is not like the worst case scenario. Like, don't freak out about vaccines. I don't suggest taking them, but don't freak out about any kind of like mandatory vaccine or anything like that. I think the only thing to freak out about is giving vaccines to like children and like babies and stuff like that, right? But as adults, you shouldn't worry about it unless you have children and you want to protect them, you know? But yeah, fear is the real virus, man. Fear is going to destroy you. Yeah, I stopped dry aging because I lost fallout because I lost a lot of it in the dry aging process, and it turned out kind of crusty, and some of it turned out good, but some of it aged too much, and I stopped dry aging. No, I've never eaten raw fish that I caught myself. Yeah, masks are stupid, guys. Don't wear masks. Masks are dumb. They're probably going to cut my stream in 5 minutes for saying that, but I get confronted for not wearing my masks in public places and stuff like that. Just don't be afraid of these people, man. Just, if you have to, lie and tell them you have a lung condition. What are they going to do? You know? But I just don't wear them. A lot of people don't say anything to me, man. Sometimes I'm the only place in the whole store. I'm the only person in the whole store that doesn't have one. Some guy, I went into Natural Grocers yesterday without my mask, like I always do, and some guy looked at me in the line and pointed at his face, you know? Pointing at his face, like, you should be wearing a mask. I just gave him a thumbs up. I just walked by him and gave him a thumbs up. Just, don't engage these people. Don't let them get you pissed off. Don't argue with them. You know. Only time I wear a mask is when I go to my barber, because I think they're under different guidelines with the health department. So, and he's like right next to my face. So just out of respect, I wear my mask at my barber. But we sit there and talk about how the news is bullshit and all this stuff is bullshit anyways while he's cutting my hair. So it's like, I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? You can't completely cut off all your business connections, but on the other hand, a lot of places don't enforce it, so you could just go do your business elsewhere. You guys want potato? No potato? Dry aging increases histamine. Interesting. What's the best mineral food? Yeah, oysters sounds good. I think oysters is probably up there. You know, I think like I was looking up like pancreas and kidney and stuff. Those were pretty good too. Your niece almost died from SIDS after getting a vaccine. My dad died from Lou Gehrig's disease after a bunch of vaccines. All right, later, Stefan. Take it easy, man. Thanks for coming. I'll probably go another like 10 minutes, guys. I'm going to make these streams like a little bit shorter than normal. Just to, like I said, encourage other people to rewatch them. So they're not too overwhelmingly long. And I like to go about an hour anyways. And, you know, after I start losing steam a little bit after like an hour, hour and a half. So probably go another about 10 minutes, guys, and wrap it up. Till maybe tomorrow. We'll see. I got the day off tomorrow, so. Jason says, I ate raw catfish egg sacks. Wow. Interesting. Ibrahim says, God, I need to toughen up. I'm tired of conforming to this mask bullshit. I'm telling you, man, just, it's all an illusion. It's all, they're lying to us. Because they're lying to us about the pandemic, and they're also lying to you about the mask mandate. Because they'll say, like, on the door to the business, it'll say, mask required. Okay? That's like your standard sign that you see, right? Mask required. I walk right past that sign without a mask every time. I go in there, I walk by 100 people with masks on. I go check out, give them my money. I even have people offer me masks, and I go, no thanks. And they go, fair enough. And they just let me go on with my day, and they let me go do my business. It's a lie. The sign on the door is a lie. It's not mask required. If it was mask required, they would kick me out. Now, some places will kick you out. It depends on where you're at. But in general, I have found, at least here in Nebraska, that we have a city ordinance that supposedly says you're supposed to wear masks, but they don't kick you out of grocery stores for not wearing them. So, and neither do they kick you out of hardware stores either. I've went into like an Ace Hardware store to get some stuff, and this guy was like, you have to wear a mask, dude. And I was like, well, I don't have one. And he goes, well, I got one right back here in the office if you need one. And I was like, no thanks. He said, fair enough. It's lies, guys. It's lies. And it's not really even up to the businesses to enforce it, you know? These are like city ordinances. Like, it's honestly up to the police. But now you got like citizens, like random people starting to enforce it. Like that guy I encountered yesterday that like pointed at his mouth, you know? I wish he would have engaged me, because I just would have very politely, very elegantly destroyed him, you know? In a very, very polite way. But I just would have been like, well, with all due respect, this is a very long conversation. If you want, we could step outside and have this conversation in private. But I don't believe probably a lot of things that you believe, and you know. And if they kept pushing it, I would say, well, you know, are you going to make me wear masks? Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about it? You know? And they would likely say nothing. And I would say, well, then I just suggest you go about your business and mind your own business. You know, that's just really all you have to say to people. Would I recommend anything specific for eczema? Get on this diet, you know, and because eczema is going to be like a detox, you're kicking out toxins from your body. Just get on the diet, and your skin problems will resolve themselves. But he probably did. You'll have to get the book We Want to Live. I'm sure he said something about it in the book. Yeah, a lot of people don't confront me because I'm 6'3" and pretty big dude. Not exactly easily confrontable or controllable guy. Like I don't think I give off the the impression that I'm an easily persuadable or controllable person. So a lot of people just look the other way. Definitely helps. Definitely helps. But it's not about your size, man. It's about your spirit, right? You got to represent the right spirit. Yeah, I don't think they can kick you out, especially like if you have like a lung condition. You know what I mean? If you look in fine print on those signs, it'll say if you have a lung condition, they can't kick you out. You know? Yeah, I have a medical. That's exactly what you have to say. And honestly, you don't even have to say that. All you have to say is, what if I had a medical condition, right? You don't have to tell people you have a medical condition because that is like almost like giving out too much personal information, you know? While we're eating raw meat, people are afraid of breathing fresh air and saying, I know, isn't it nuts? I had some dude on my Instagram tell me I was going to get a prion. I love when people tell me that. You're going to get a prion, dude. I'm like, I can't wait. I can't wait. Email says, business here in New York City get fines if the signs are not on the outside of the store, but public is not fined for not doing what the sign says. Exactly, guys. Which goes to show you how big of a lie this whole thing is, because there's a break in the chain of logic there, right? If there really was a deadly virus flying around in the air, going around between people and just killing everybody at random, then they would put signs on the stores. They would have people at the doors. They would make you wear a mask. They would kick you out for not wearing one. Like, it would be enforced. But what they're doing is they're slowly ramping it up. Like I said earlier in the beginning of the stream, they sell you on a small scam in order to break your will, I guess, and then sell you on larger scams, right? So now they're selling us the mask thing, and then they're going to keep ramping it up from there. Because if you notice, now they're trying to cancel our holidays, right? So first it was masks. Now they're trying to. Then they started canceling like small gatherings. Now they're canceling our holidays. They're gonna start. Then they're gonna like shut the whole country down. I'm telling you, they're ramping this shit up. But it all starts with complying with the masks, or acquiescing, I believe is the word that David Icke loves to use all the time, which I'm gonna steal from him and use it more often. Don't acquiesce. Acquiesce? Yeah, I think it's acquiesce. Try to spell that one. What's your zodiac, son? I'm a Cancer and I'm a moon child. Look up Judge Napolitano, who talks about the 10th Amendment. He shows how the federal government and state government don't actually have the constitutional right to enforce masks or vaccines. I know, dude. They do not. They do not, dude. But private businesses have the right to refuse your business based on anything, basically. I believe. But still, you could get into discrimination there. It gets hairy, man. This whole thing gets hairy. That's why a lot of businesses leave it alone. They just let you walk on by. And a lot of people honestly don't want confrontation. A lot of people just avoid confrontation. So if you just do your thing, most people won't even bother you. Do I got a home gym? Yes. I'm about to go actually lift here in a few minutes. I got a bench. I got a bunch of dumbbells. Used to have a treadmill, but I got rid of it regretfully. Now I got to go get another one. Seems obvious they're sensationalizing the virus increase. Is it obvious to others? Oh yeah, dude, for sure. It's all about power and control. All these politicians and corporations, all they want is power and control and money. They don't want the truth. They don't want to help us. People will do anything for power and money. Prion is a good thing. I believe it. Give me some prions. Give me some raw prions. I'll eat that for dinner. Intercom at stores I go to always say that if you can't wear a mask, to please shop online. LOL. Okay, I'll just get everything off of Amazon. You know, just destroy all my local businesses. Would you eat a raw bat? For sure. I should eat a raw bat just for this whole stupid pandemic. Yeah, you guys got it worse in the UK and in Germany. That sucks. Jake says my mom wouldn't even get close to her own mother without wearing a mask today. It's sad, dude. Yeah, I haven't heard any news from my family about Thanksgiving this year, which I'm guessing it's not happening. Because my grandpa's a freaking germaphobe. You know about Christopher James from A Warrior Calls? I do not. You think y'all got it crazy? In parts of Australia, you need a permit to leave your 25-kilometer exclusion zone. Wow, dude. That's crazy. Thoughts on zeolite or indium? I'm not even sure what that is, dude. Good stream, dude. Thanks, Bradley. Appreciate it. Bro, you ever made a Fear Factor like drinking a blender with all your high quality meats? No, that's interesting. I never thought about making that, but I did make this this one video that never quite made the channel, but it was like one of Augenus's like power drinks, and it was like raw blood, raw liver, and like some other shit, and it freaking turned out so nasty. I just didn't even upload the video because it was like it didn't turn out right. The consistency was all weird, and it was a gnarly drink. But I did make a blender smoothie one time of blood and liver and all sorts of weird shit. It's pretty crazy. What is Moctezuma's Revenge? I don't know. I think I've heard of that before. Do a food shopping live stream? I don't shop for food, dude. Like, I basically go get potatoes. Like, it wouldn't be very interesting. I go in, I grab 2 bags of potatoes, and I check out. I get all my food from farmers, man. Like, literally everything. I go get my oysters from a seafood warehouse. I get my beef from I have 3 different beef suppliers. And my butter and my cheese I get from Amos Miller's farm. And my milk I get from my farmer, so I'm pretty lucky, man. My brains and my eyes I get from the meat market. Where are you gonna get a raw bat? I'm sure I could probably find one. We got bats around here. I don't think it's bat season, but maybe I can figure out how to set up like a bat trap or like make a bat house. I'll just trap one. We will fly some bats straight from Wuhan for you, Wes. Thank you. Give me some. Straight from the heart of Wuhan. Jason says that, yes, I want to eat a bat and put it online. Dude, I was very close to... Okay, so I had a dude at work actually get the coronavirus. He's this older dude. Like, he's like 70. He works in the office. He got corona, dude. And I wish I would have found it out, because what I was going to do is I was going to have this dude, like, cough in my face. And I was going to, like, hang around him every day for, like, a week. And then make a whole video on it, on how corona's a hoax and how I never got corona. But I didn't find out he had corona until he was like 2 weeks into it, so it wouldn't have worked out. But tell me that wouldn't have been like a insane video. I would have done it too. That's how convinced I am this is all just a scam. How to ease into drinking blood? A shot or mix with something? Yeah, just give it a sip, you know. You'll see what it's like after that. It's really not bad. Tastes pretty good actually. You'll start to like it. Why do people get sick when they visit Mexico? It's a good question. That's a great question, dude. There's so many variables with that. Who knows? Maybe they were already in bad shape before they got there. Because not everybody gets sick, but some people get sick, you know? It's a good question. Would you eat raw lion meat? I'd probably try it. Zeolite is able to detox heavy metal from vaccines and whatnot. I'm about to use it for my family, only see good things about it. Interesting, man. I'll have to look into that. Zeolite. Let me see. Good question. Whoops. Alright, let me see what Zeolite's all about here. Zeolite and vaccines. Huh. How to safely detox from vaccines. I'll have to look into that. I don't see anything on it right now, but I'll check that out. A lot of people get vaxxed when they go traveling, and there are a lot of bad agriculture practice there. Yeah, so there's so many confounding variables with that, you know? Like, it's hard to say why people get sick, period. There's so many different things that can cause it. But that being said, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to go work out. Appreciate everybody showing up. 60 people here right now. Thanks for coming, everybody. And I will continue this live stream possibly tomorrow, but we'll do definitely one this week again. So everybody take it easy. God bless. Keep eating raw meats. And I will see y'all next time.